Good morning. Today we're going to do a different kind of zentangle art piece. This one right here, which doesn't really have orientation yet, so that's how it's looking. Also like this one right here, they're very similar, and we're going to make it using all of these supplies. So we have coffee, necessary. We have watercolor. These are Japanese watercolors. This one's kuretake. Then we're going to use either some chalk pastels or some oil pastels. I haven't decided yet because I have different colors in each. These are the chalk pastel. I used this one to make, oopsie daisy, this piece, which you might have seen the short of. They're Prismacolor. And then we also could use oil pastels. These are Pentel. And they're just a bit of a, well, quite a different consistency actually. So they're oily and not secreting oily, but the opposite of chalk, I guess. We're going to, so how we get, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do two sections. So the first is to focus on the background. So remove this pink, you know what? Let's have a sip of coffee. Delish. Remove this mint line from your eyes and also the pink here, and see how the background is kind of a really blended out mishmash of this nice combination of colors. We're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna let it dry, and then we're gonna come back and do our zentangle on top. Our zentangle is these minty lines, and we're using these splotches throughout the piece as the barriers that will dictate where our lines go. So they're going from left to right or top to bottom, depending on how you look at it. However, they're moving around these little shapes. And this is a much lower pressure kind of activity. It does use more supplies, but just want to show you a variety. And this is something I'm just kind of working on. Like these I've put on my progress wall for inspiration. I'm not really sure what I'll do with them yet. Like I think they're part of an idea that will be born later, if that makes any sense to you. Anyway, what we're gonna do first is this background. So I'm gonna use this Canson mixed media pad. I'm flipping to the middle because I have some private stuff in the front. This paper is good for holding watercolor. It's not, if you're doing like a kind of quote unquote final piece of watercolor, it's not gonna be the best, but it's perfect for what we're doing. So let's get a bit closer. It's nice and thick, it holds watercolor, it holds acrylic, and it doesn't buckle too hard. But just to extra ensure that, we're going to tape it down. So do you see how this has this nice edge? I used the wrong tape, so it's not a great texture. I should have used painter tape. But we're gonna make that border. Right now, I'll show you how, and it contains the water too, so our background can kind of all bleed into itself. Oh, this was not a very good rip on my end, was it? That's okay. We're gonna take our mini scissors, just clean that up. The important thing to note with this is, I've seen a lot of comments on like, I can't even start, like I'd mess it up. Your first ever one you have to do doesn't need to be your final piece, like it's just your experimentation. It's like a first pancake. You don't mix the whole batter and then be like, okay, this first pancake's gonna be perfect. You lean into the fact that it's not, and then I feel like that's just a better way to see it, because then you're not upset when it's not, because you called it. So we're gonna make the border. I'm using this tape, which I wanna get around the same, that's not too bad, but around the same amount of white space under it. This tape is just painter's tape from Blick, kind of like the blue one that you might have seen. I got pink because obviously I got pink. So measure how long it is. Oops. So this painter's tape peels off pretty well, so that's why we like it. Press that down, and then we're gonna just do the same on both sides. Again, look, I usually put one corner down and then kind of wiggle this one to see where it would make the most sense. And then this final bit right here. And it's really important to, when you're doing something like this, go over the corners and make sure the corners have two, that's a little small, but it doesn't really matter, on both sides, because then you won't get bleed. So I'm looking for my bone folder. This is my box of stuff that I use all the time. Why there's too many envelopes in it, I don't know. I have a box for each type of pen, but this is all my hippo eraser, important. This is all my everyday kind of things that I use. It's not very tidy, but I'm constantly dipping in and out of it, so I don't even try. At least it's in the box, you know. That's tidy enough for me. Oh, I got this really cute little thing you put on your finger, and then you wipe your phone screen down. I've used it about twice, but I like looking at it. Okay. Maybe we can do a tour of that one day if you're interested. My other boxes are my black and white pens, and then my color pens. And then I have little tins for each kind of brush and stuff. You've probably seen blah, 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 blah. Okay, anyways, what I was looking for was my bone folder. So this is a really, really handy tool, often used in bookmaking, but also all kinds of things, including getting crisp corners. And what we're gonna do with it now is make sure the tape is as pressed onto the page as we can so we get minimal bleed. So I'm gonna put my finger here and put it at an angle and just press down along all the sides. I actually haven't peeled off with this tape before, so I hope it turns out nice, but if not, we tried, eh? Okay, let's get a bit closer. My lamp is broken, which is not ideal. And I asked if they could fix it, and they said it was a $40 fixing fee, and that I would have to send it off for like over a week. I was like, I use this lamp every day. That's not really gonna be an option for me. So I'm not sure what to do there. Anyway, let's take another look at these. So how I kind of arranged it is stripes. See, there's like a maroon stripe, blue, another maroon from here, and they're coming from both the top and the bottom. And they're not all touching, but there's enough water on the page that they're gonna bleed into each other. So our first step before we get anything down on the paper is just to choose our color scheme. I'm gonna pick from these. I used this paint yesterday and I really liked it. But these are kind of cool color tones, so like bluey, purple, green. This one's obviously warmer. I mean this one. And I kind of want to try something different. So I'm thinking like yellow, green, pink. That could be springy, and then maybe blue on top. Yeah, let's try that. So that would be this, this, this. Maybe these two. Let's see, but we need to know at least a gist of what we're doing for now, because actually we should put this in the frame, shouldn't we? So you can see how that all goes. Because once we get water on the page, we're gonna act fast. So I have my water cup filled up. And then I have my paper towel, and we're gonna remove the cat hair from the piece of paper. So how we get that blended look is that the whole page is super, super wet. Better watercolor papers hold water better. This one holds it great for what we're doing. And the way it blends is because all the water mishmashes together. So we're gonna get our brush nice and wet, and then really cover the whole page here. And this can be super sloppy, like the grains in the direction does not matter at all. We just want it really wet so everything can blend into each other. And you'll see it, the page is kind of buckling. Do you see that? But because we've trapped it with our tape, it's all gonna be fine. Okay, so the more water you do, the more blendy it's gonna be. I like how it looks right now. So I'm going to actually maybe take my yellow first, get this really activated, oop, messy, activated and wet, and do a few random lines on the page. Clean off my brush. Oopsie. Bane of my life, Ryan. Okay, that kind of messed up what I had going on, so we'll put some more. I like this because it's not of anything, right? Like, this might look great to you, and then I go like this, and it looks great to the next person who didn't see without that, you know? So, it doesn't really matter. Next, we're gonna use this nice, bright, springy green. It was feeling super, oh, that's a bit more yellow than I had thought. We're gonna follow that line there. Do this corner. Okay, so I guess we're not going in stripes here, but that's fine. Little one at the edge. It was feeling super, super springy yesterday in the last few days, and this morning I've woken up and it's awfully cold, but it's okay. Okay, now we're gonna take this green, put that down here. Just totally random, but I like to have a bit of a balance in terms of where the colors are on the composition. So if I have green on this side, I want some on this side too. Then I want to use, oops, that was really messy. I'm gonna wipe these out after I use them. Use this nice minty color, I guess it is. Like this. Put a little bit in the corner. And this is a good time to experiment with, what's it called? Well, this paper is really buckling a lot. I guess I put a little more water compared to what I did last time. Then there's yellow in this blue because I splashed it, but that's okay. And so now I'm gonna use this blue just to go in any bits that are quite white. And they're all gonna splurge around. I thought there was blue on my brush, but I guess not. Then any other kind of extra white bits like there, I think I could do a bit of yellow. Yellow in the corner. Okay, we're gonna let this dry just a touch. And in the meantime, always keep lots of paper towel at my desk. I'm gonna wipe out these. Oops, and it kind of takes away some of the pigment, but I'd like it to be clean when I come back to it. Okay, it's kind of pretty actually. Pop that in the bin. So the next step, once we see how this all dries, I feel like it's gonna make a kind of channel. But we're not going for anything specific, right? So we're just kind of playing, having a nice little morning together, seeing what happens, and then the rest of our piece is interacting based off of what we've made. So the next step is going to be to do these splotches. So this one I did when it was quite wet. You could see it bled. This one was dry, didn't bleed at all. That's why they look a bit different, and I was experimenting to see what I thought looked coolest for my next piece, which is right now, and I do like when they're bleeding like that. So, do you know what I'm gonna do actually? This is a fun technique that I haven't done in a while. It's really puddling, and so I'm gonna take a paper towel and not even touch the page, but just touch the water and take a little bit of it. just so it dries a little faster. Oh my God, is that a freaking cat hair? Okay, so see how I touched it there with my hand? The oils of my hand kind of ruined it. So I need to go over that a bit. Anyways, so far looking cool. I'm gonna let that dry and we're gonna give it about 10 minutes and then come back. It's still gonna be wet enough that we can do our droplets. So I'll see you in 10. Okay, it's been a little bit of time and we're going to go and add some splotches. We still have these rivers going. We're gonna use the number 2 round brush from Princeton. And I think I wanna take this nice ultramarine blue. So again, we're gonna activate it, get a lot of it on the brush. I'm just gonna pop it down in different places on the page. And we're gonna need to kind of continuously top up the palette with water so we get a good consistency that will sploosh around. I'm gonna do a couple more of these. The bits between the rivers are actually much more dry than the rivers themselves. So I do wonder if I waited too long. Oh no, they're okay. They're gonna slowly, just keep an eye on them, distribute, disperse. So now that I have a few down where I thought would be some nice spots, I'm gonna look at the overall composition and see what is kind of missing some. So for sure here, and I'm not trying to draw a circle or a shape, I'm just trying to put color on page. Probably around here. And then this, maybe this, and a bit here. Okay, then I wanna go in with this pink. Again, wet it. You're gonna lose some pigment in the wetting back and forth process. And that's just part of it. Then we're gonna go in and put these just wherever I'm kind of drawn to. No real plan. Oh, look at this cool whiteness that's happening where the page is pulling the colors apart. That's really cool. And again, we're kind of, even though it's random, we do want to keep an eye on compositionally how this all looks together and if it looks harmonious and communicates well. Helicopter interlude. See, look how that's blended in. I wish I could lift this up and show you, and the camera holder is way too flimsy to take you on and off so many times, but there's a really nice bleed going on in there. I think it's gonna be super pretty. It's kind of giving like lily pad water almost. Do we need any more? This pink compared to the others is quite a light shade. So you'll see it's already kind of disappeared in a lot of places that we've put it. So I'm gonna put a bit back, but I actually don't mind that part of it. Oh, and right here actually. Boom. So here, see, they were really obvious. I'm trying to do something different because I already did this one and I'm experimenting. Oh, this is where I left the white of the page. That turned out really cool, actually. Oh, what if we did white on top? That could be fun. We'll get there. Anyways, yeah, so I don't mind them blending in because I want to do something different. Do I want to add another color? I'm kind of feeling like yellow, more yellow could be kind of cool in some areas. So let's add a little bit of that. Boop, boop, boop. Even in the middle here. See what happens there. And anywhere that I just think could use a little more yellow. Add sometimes you can just even add water to help things spread out. Oh, look at these cool lines we got going. Wow, this is gonna be so fun to zentangle after. Okay, I'm pretty happy with this as our background. What I'm gonna do, just to give you a better visual of what I mean. See how there's this kind of connection of the two colors here where they have a line between them. Here's another good example on these guys. I see a lot of that happening here, so that's gonna be super fun. However, we're gonna let this dry, completely dry. That was really dry, if you didn't catch that. And then we're gonna come back and do our pastel layer. So I'll keep track of how long that is, but I will see you then. So it's been a touch under an hour, and I'm just popping in to show you the update. The left side's dry and the right still has these kind of rivers, but we have these super beautiful, I don't even know what it's called, kind of bleed lines, and the river has dried up and it looks like this shape, and these are gonna dry soon. So cool. So this is a really good thing for in the middle of all this. I had an hour and I did this chore that I wasn't really too excited about doing, or actually did two things, just got them done. So this is a nice way to have an activity, but also build in time to do other things. So go me. Yeah, looking so cool. I can't wait for what's going on top. Remember, this is gonna be the background, so it's just gonna get more exciting. Okay, I'm going to let that keep drying and I'll be back soon. Hello, it is quite a bit later. I had therapy and then I had a lymphatic massage with Jocelyn, and now we are back and ready to work on this piece. It's totally dried, as you can see, all good. So these beautiful lines have happened, so cool. It's like the effect of the river, I guess, because there was so much water. So it's very much a trust the process thing, you know? So it looks very organic and kind of like a leaf that you'd find in Hawaii or something. I love it. So I kind of want to play into those lines. I know before we used these as our pebbles to guide the zentangle. And this time, wouldn't it be cool if my nails matched my piece? Oh well. I kind of want to use these lines. So I don't know how exactly that's gonna work, but we're gonna try it together. I'm thinking I want to bring some more yellow into this piece, and I was also thinking maybe it could be cool to use both the chalk pastel and the oil pastel. They're slightly different colors, so that could work. So I'm thinking maybe like a, oh dear, that's come out. Oh, it's because I broke this one when I was using it last. They're very delicate. Like this is actually very similar to what is down here, especially if it's from far away. It's not really gonna stand out because it's kind of a mixture of the green or this green and the yellow. But let's put it here. I like this more golden shade, number 12 yellow. I also like this much lemonier yellow, which is incredibly similar to that actually. So maybe not, maybe this Naples yellow. There's some smudging that happened here, and what we do in that situation is, I'm actually just gonna use the back of this one. You can clean it off by just rubbing that bit on some paper. It's kind of like how when the watercolors were muddy, you don't want to go next time and I'll be all excited to paint something yellow and then you get green in it if that wasn't your vibe. So there we go. TBD, I want to play into the pink element. So let's do this, which is Rose Madder. And then I think a blue could be cool, but like a light blue, like this pale blue. Let's see how this goes, and we can always add, oh, actually, I quite like this one, blue. really original. Let's put both. So this is our selection of what we might put on top. I don't want to put green because I feel like that's kind of our background. I want this to feel like a meadow in spring. So we know for sure we're gonna do this yellow, so let's start with that one first. I wonder if we should do an outline around these ones to start. Let's do that. Nice. So we're gonna trace the lines of this loosely. This is for any that are just fully open, so also this one. Then around the yellow, I kind of want to do something different. Maybe this blue. Kind of have to drag these, but in a fun way. This here as well. But since it's the last one, and I want to do a bit of everything, let's do that in pink. Like this. Now, maybe we use this line as our guide and just really kind of roughly tracing over the shape of the watermark from the river. Let me see if I can get you at a better angle here at all. No promises. I think what we're gonna do is just keep tracing and see where this takes us. So we could fit between there. I don't care about overlapping on this particular piece. So we'll go up. Then here, it kind of goes into this blendy area that could be anywhere. So let's follow it till this. And this is really a time to just play because there's no rules. I literally just made up these random lines and then the water made them even more random and gave us this kind of playground to play with. So there we go, that's how it connects. Let's try this light blue now. And, oh, that's really pretty. So if you're, like for example, the star zentangle, it's kind of pressure to make a bit of a star, right? But with this, there's literally, it can be any line. So hopefully that's just like an alternative for being kind of fun. If you follow my drift. Where else? Let's do in here. This little lobster tail. And then I think this one. So the yellow is a little translucent compared to the others. That happens with shades like yellow. Okay, cool. This is looking topographical. Now let's do that same thing for here. We can start up and just follow any shape. So there is not clearly a strict rule for what I'm defining as something to cross versus go around. We're gonna get to this guy, move around, then I'm gonna use that line. Come back up in here and connect. And then I think let's just do the same pattern we did here, which would mean, the good thing about oil pastels is they don't smudge. So I can rest my little hand. Boop. And then there isn't too much space inside for the yellow, so we'll just keep that as is. Now, if we're looking at kind of naked areas like that, this is also one. The more we stare at this, the more we can kind of see bits. So let's go up in there. And maybe this. So this is different to how we went top to bottom. This one's much more organized. These, I just feel like my brain is swinging on a little playground swing right now. I'm gonna use that white as the line, and then I know there's a faint bit there, but I kind of want to use this angle, so we'll go up. This looks like a mitten. Lovely. Back to our pattern. And then we could definitely fit some yellows in here. Let's go like this. So are you seeing how the background pattern doesn't even really matter so much now? Okay, then I think, so we've gone within this stripe, and now we can go within this river. And I think it might be nice to do something different to what we had. So see how it goes pink, blue. We're gonna follow that pattern by going pink, blue this way. Following our river. And then this one, we're kind of going inside. And around. And then connecting them there, lovely. And then so now the lines we make are guided, and we said gid, that is not the past tense of guided, by our blue line. I'm going much faster than I would with the watercolor zentangle because it's all fun and games. Okay, let's give that a bit of a tail, nice. And why don't we do our lighter yellow inside this one, just for a bit of variety. Cool. And now we have this, well, this is kind of its own little section. I guess there's an entrance there, technically, kind of. So we could, it's gonna start here. It's actually like this kind of. Go in here. Yeah, let's do that. So this one is gonna be light blue starting in here. Whoop. I kind of want to go around this blue guy there, up in here, back down and inside. Doodle-loop. Oops, I went over that. Cool, cool, cool. And then maybe we'll just go like that. Pink's turn for any inside bits. That was my stomach grumbling. Having lunch after this. It's a rainy day today, which isn't great because it's cold, but it does mean good lighting, as in it's evenly distributed. So that works. At least there's some positive outcome. And then we'll fill this in with pale yellow. So now at this point, I don't know about you, but I'm kind of losing track of what is what section. And that's, oh, that's a cool little blendy accident. Kind of losing track of where everything was. You know, it might be fun to go over the top with this. Let's see if it works. I don't know if it does. Okay, now we have a few more sections. So like this and this and this that we haven't touched. maybe that's a good place to take this one. I'm gonna start it in here. We're actually gonna cross that over there and go all up in this and here. And this one. I could do that and that, but I don't really want to. Also, this is too similar to that right there, so I don't want to touch that. Maybe I'll just fill this in kind of blue. Okay. Then what do we want on the inside of this? I would say pink still. There's no rules today. This kind of looks like a little fish. This looks like a bottle. Okay, whoa, I'm liking how this looks. It's really fun to look at up close. There's just so many different bits and things, and it kind of feels like organic in some way. I don't know how to explain it. Anyways, I think it looks great, but I think it's still, we could do something. Let's first though put these away because that's killing me. Oh, that's a great color. I actually kind of want to add some of that in. Maybe in these original ones we looped around the mitten here. Can't always see it. Oh, and here was the last one. Okay. And then how can we use this? Maybe we just go, let's look at these for inspiration. I think bigger gaps could work quite nicely. And everything's going this way. So why don't we, actually, why don't we also go that way? Because this is kind of giving like a leaf or something. I don't know how to explain it, but I want to play into the like xylem and phloem or whatever of this very odd little leaf. Oh, that was interesting. It kind of like swam along the pastel. So we're just going to use this to add in a little bit of texture, kind of like the veins. Oh, I don't know what's going on here. It's taking us over here. Okay. Yes, I love this pop that's happening. And then here we can come down in here. Through that blue is going to be pretty. And then let's take it here this way. And then why don't we go one more, work in this end, can connect it to that. And then, oh, this could also come up here. Anywhere we see there could be something else, like that. Okay. Didn't break my pastel. Lovely. I think kind of like this. I like it as the background of something. I don't know what, but I'm into it. Now's the fun part. We're going to take off these. Took off some of my table, but that's okay. This table is, it was a dining table at one point, but it's just an art table now. Okay, it's kind of ripping it slightly. I guess this isn't quite the right tape, but that's fine. Wow, the border just gives it something, you know? That's so cool. I love it. Like, what even is that? I have no idea. So here's what we have so far in this series. I'm open to name ideas if anyone wants to drop something. Let's put them like this. Oh, I thought this was the same paper. Guess not. Oh, this is actual watercolor paper. And then we have this little guy. Okay, well, I hope this was fun to watch and inspiring. And if you make one, tag me, because I'd love to see how you interpret it, because everyone's will be different. Also, please subscribe if you haven't already. I'm almost at 100K, and once I do that, we are going live. Very fun. All right, well, see you in the next one.